Hello and welcome to this channel which is called English Decoded. I'm Abdus Salam, and today in this lecture I'm going to talk about another kind of adjectives called the articles. There are two articles, a, an or the. There are not three, there are two. A and an are the two versions of the same article. The adjectives a or an and the are usually called articles. They are really demonstrative adjectives. The articles, that is a and the, they are adjectives and they are demonstrative adjectives. What is a demonstrative adjective? A demonstrative adjective is that adjective that demonstrates a noun. There are two articles, a or an and the. A or an is called the indefinite article because it usually leaves indefinite the person or thing spoken of as a doctor, that is, any doctor. A or an, they are called the indefinite articles because when they are used with a noun, that noun is an indefinite one. For example, if I say a doctor, I mean any doctor. It is indefinite. The identity or the determination of the doctor is indefinite. I'm not talking about a particular doctor. I'm talking about any doctor. So the article a or an is an indefinite article. On the contrary, the is called the definite article because it normally points out some particular person or thing as he saw the doctor, meaning some particular doctor. On the contrary, the is called the definite article. When it is used with a noun, that noun is something definite, someone definite. For example, if I say the doctor, it means that I'm pointing out a specific individual doctor whom I know. The indefinite article, that is a or an, they are used before singular countable nouns, a book, an orange, a girl. The indefinite article a or an, they are used before singular countable nouns. Two things, they are used before a singular noun. Second thing, they are used before a singular countable noun. A book, an orange, a girl. The definite article is used before singular countable nouns, plural countable nouns, and uncountable nouns. The definite article the is used before a singular countable noun, a plural countable noun, or an uncountable noun. For example, the book, it is a singular countable noun. The books, plural countable noun. The milk, it is an uncountable noun. Uses of the definite article. How the definite article, that is the, is used in sentences. For example, when we talk about a particular person or thing or one already referred to, that is when it is clear from the context which one we mean, as the book you want is out of print. Which book? The one you want. The definite article the is used with nouns about which we already know, which we have already pointed out, or we have already discussed it, whether it's a person or a thing or a place. For example, the book you want is out of print. The book you want is out of print. Over here, we're not talking about any book. We are talking about a particular book. Which book? The one you want. You know what you want. You want a book. It's a specific book. It's a particular book. You want it. And I'm telling you that the book you want is out of print. It is not available. Another use of the definite article. When a singular noun is meant to represent a whole class. The cow is a useful animal. The rose is the sweetest of all flowers. When we intend to represent a whole class by a singular noun, we use the with that noun, the definite article the with that noun. For example, the cow is a useful animal. Over here, we have used a singular noun, cow. But by using the with the cow, we are representing the whole class of cows with this singular noun. The cow is a useful animal does not mean that a particular cow is a useful animal. No, all cows are useful animals. Over here in this sentence, the cow represents the whole class of cows. Similarly, the rose is the sweetest of all flowers. The rose is the sweetest of all flowers means all roses are the sweetest of all flowers. The rose here in this sentence means all roses. Before some proper names, place names, for example, oceans and seas, the Pacific, the Black Sea, rivers, the Ganga, the Nile, canals, the Suez Canal, deserts, the Sahara. The is used before proper nouns, or it is used before some certain known books. For example, the Vedas, the Puranas, the Iliad, the Ramayana. These are certain particular books, and we use the definite article the before these books, or before names of things unique of their kind, before some unique things in the universe: the sun, the sky, the ocean, the sea, the earth. Another use of the definite article the before a proper noun when it is qualified by an adjective or a defining adjectival clause. The definite article the is used before those proper nouns which already have a defining qualifying adjective. For example, the great Caesar. Great is an adjective, it is qualifying the noun Caesar, and we use the definite article the with the great Caesar. The immortal Shakespeare. The Mr. Roy whom you met last night. Now, whom you met last night is an adjectival clause, and it has been used with the noun Mr. Roy. So we use the definite article the with Mr. Roy. The Mr. Roy whom you met last night is my uncle, not just any Mr. Roy. The Mr. Roy whom you met last night, that Mr. Roy is my uncle. Another use of the definite article the with superlatives. The darkest cloud has a silver lining. This is the best book of elementary chemistry. The is used with the superlative degrees of adjectives. The darkest cloud, the best book. With ordinals, when we use ordinals, it's the adjective of number, as he was the first man. The first man. First is the ordinal. The ninth chapter. Ninth is the ordinal, and we use the definite article the with ordinals. Another way to use the definite article the before musical instruments, as he can play the flute, the guitar, the tabla. Before an adjective when used as a noun. When an adjective is used as a noun, we use the definite article the with that adjective. The poor are always with us. The poor, the rich. Another use of the definite article the before a noun with emphasis to give the force of a superlative. When it is sometimes the definite article the is used before a noun in order to give the impression of a superlative. For example, he is the man in the area. Now, the definite article the has been used with the noun man, but the meaning that this sentence is giving that he is the manliest man in the area. Sometimes the definite article the is used as an adverb with the comparative degrees of the adjectives. For example, the more the merrier. More is an adjective, and the definite article the is qualifying this adjective. And we know that sometimes the adverbs qualify the adjectives. The more, the merrier. More is an adjective, the comparative degree of an adjective, and the is qualifying this. And merrier is also a comparative degree of an adjective, and the definite article, the, is qualifying this. So in this sentence, the has been used with comparative degrees of adjectives as adverbs. Use of indefinite article, a or an. In its original numerical sense of 1, 12 inches make a foot, not a word was said. First and foremost, a or an, they are used to represent the number 1. If I say a book, I mean one book. 12 inches make a foot. 12 inches make 1 foot. 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. Not a word was said. Not a single word was said in the vague sense of a certain person. For example, if I say a Tyler is suspected by the police, I don't know which Tyler people are talking about, whether his name is actually a Tyler, but I have heard that there is a person named Tyler and he is wanted by the police. So I will say a Tyler is suspected by the police. A Charlie is suspected by the police. And Ahmed is suspected by the police. So when we are referring to a certain person but in a vague sense, then we use a or an, the indefinite article. In the sense of any, to single out an individual as the representative of a class, a pupil should obey his teacher. A is used with singular nouns to represent any of the class of that noun. For example, a pupil. It means any pupil. A cow is a useful animal. Any cow is a useful animal. Another way, to make a common noun of a proper noun. A, sometimes used with a proper noun, makes that proper noun into a common noun. Turns that proper noun into a common noun. For example, a Daniel come to judgment. Daniel is the name of a particular person, but if in this sense I say a Daniel come to judgment, or if I say an Einstein has spoken, if I'm complimenting someone or if I'm mocking someone, I'll say an Einstein has spoken. It means Einstein is a proper noun, but now I can mean anyone by saying an Einstein. It can mean that person, it can mean that person, it can mean any person when I say an Einstein. When I use an indefinite article, a or an, with a proper noun, I turn that proper noun into a common noun. That's all for today.